Right guys, welcome back to this Mini Cooper S teardown. And we're at the stages now of modifying this car. The next mod we're going to be fitting, which I know many people don't agree with, some do agree with. It's all personal opinion on the Mini Cooper S's. I've had no issues putting this specific modification. Many people on other cars, I know they suffer with a lot of different issues, but I know I never own the time I own my Mini. The next modification we're going to be doing is an induction kit system on this Mini Cooper S. Obviously, I took my time thinking about this if I wanted to stick with a panel filter, because I already had one that I took out my last Mini and I did have it and I got it out, and I've still got it. Or I wanted to put an induction kit. After a long, hard thinking, I then decided I'm just going to put an induction kit on it because I love the supercharger whine. It really opens these cars up to hearing all the raw experience of these cars, and the supercharger whine comes in like no other with an induction kit on it. So we are going to be installing it and we're going to get onto it, and I'll show you what brand it is and what one we've picked to fit on this Mini Cooper S. So the first thing we've got to do for this Mini Cooper S to fit the induction system is put this air box back in. We just need the bottom half, so I'm just going to reinstall this, get our ECU plugs up, and I did actually take this out purely because to make easy access, but now I've got to really put it all back in. So I'm just going to pull it all back in the way it should be going. Then you've got rubber grommets that go in as well. Now we'll connect back up the ECU. Like so, just one plug in. And we do have a bolt down here, which we're gonna have to bolt it back in, as many of you guys remember when I took it out, but that's the airbox now back in. That's how we want it for now. And now I'm gonna get the induction kit. So inside you'll get your comb filter, which is right there. Put that aside. We also get this frame here, which you're going to need. And now this frame sits like this. You'll probably see how I'm positioning it. Just like that, and it bolts in as the airbox would, just like that. It will sit in slot like that. Show you how to connect it all up. You've also got this other pipe right here that I'm opening, which this is what slots on. So what you would do is you'd put that and bolt that in here. So that's where obviously the comb would go into here. You'd put that in here, and that's where your intake boot would go and come up and go into there as well. You also got this, which is a seal just to go on top of it, on top of all round here to protect it from any kind of cutting yourself or anything like that. It's like a rubber rim which we'll put on after. We've also got our bracket in the pack, which hooks on this right here, which as many of you guys know is the jump cables right there. So we've got to hook that on. We'll bolt that up. Inside here we get our intake boot, which we're not going to use, and we also get our Jubilee clips and all our bolts to use as well. You can see that that's our new intake boot. We're not using that one because we've got a different one. We'll keep that as a spare though. But this is all our bolts, Allen keys, everything we're going to need to bolt up everything. We're going to go through it and start bolting it all up. Like I said, I'm not sure where everything goes, but I'm pretty sure the smallest ones obviously will go in here. And then that's our Jubilee clips to clamp up everything. We don't really have much else in here, so this is the whole bolts. So let's get to bolting it all up and then we'll see how it goes. So we're just going to keep that out. That's our bit we're going to need. And we'll keep just our battery terminal connector right there as well. So the first thing we're going to have to do before bolting that down is we are going to have to take out this right here, because it won't go in like that. So we need to take that out and we need to put this back into here and screw it back in, just like that. Now I'm pretty sure the screws for this airbox are going to come from the original airbox, and just like that we've got this all bolting up now, which is from the original airbox screws. I mean, they are a bit long, but in the same sense, who the hell was going here? You know, you're not going to really touch anything. I'm trying not to use their bolts purely because you know how it is with our companies. They don't really make an effort with their bolts. Now we're going to clip this on, which is our bracket to hold that battery terminal. And I'm pretty sure when you look in the pack, there's only a few it can actually be. So one thing I have noticed is they didn't provide a bolt for this bracket right here that's meant to go here. And I'm not sure as to why, but if you look in the packet, there's all nuts and bolts. Now these two nuts in here, which are two black ones, are going to be to mount this. And I don't even know if they're actually going to fit there with the nuts and bolts. But there isn't another nut to secure this, which is quite concerning, as they haven't put that in, which makes my life hard now, because I need to try and find a bolt and a nut to secure this up to be able to lock this on, which means now I've got to go through my box and hope I can find the right things to be able to fabricate to make this all work out. So to say the least, I managed to find a nut and a bolt to be able to make this work. Now, I'm pretty sure I could do it like this and then bolt this up, and it should bolt it up. I shouldn't really have to do this to, you know, because other people ain't gonna be able to do this. But, you know, in the same sense, that's where it's meant to bolt into the battery junction box right there and hold on. But even that, again, isn't really sitting as steady as you would like, wanting to think. But now we're gonna try and bolt it up if we can. And now that's on. Obviously, it's never gonna be as secure as the factory one. It's just to hold it in place there. It shouldn't come off anyway. So that's a good thing. Now what we need to do is find another two to bolt this piece right up, which again, ain't gonna be so simple, so I need to find two of them now. I've got enough nuts, I've just got to find two bolts to sit that in here. Okay, so I've managed to modify two bolts that should have been in the kit, if I'm honest. Obviously there wasn't. There's nothing we can do about that, but it is one of them things. So I managed to modify it and we're just gonna bolt it up. But I will say this isn't really good for an induction kit from a company like Direnza, because not everyone's gonna have access to things like myself when they get it, and it's gonna stop that person in their tracks being able to carry out this modification, and they'll have to go and buy screws and all sorts to try and make this work. I'm quite lucky where I've got all that, but other people won't, and that's where the problem's gonna come in. That's where a lot of people start moaning about products and things like that for things like this, you know, just small things like this. Not giving you the proper equipment from the get-go when you buy it is what can cause the company's name to go downhill. And trust me, don't think, guys, because I work in a garage, I have it all, I don't get as angry as you guys, because I do. You know, having to makeshift bolts for, you know, a company's lack of responsibility is something I don't like. It's something I don't like having to do. I've always said this every time when I've worked, even in garages. When you order something, or a customer brings you something, you just want it to work. You shouldn't have to worry about, is the part going to be there, is it not? And this is why, when many people moan about garages, this is why garages, it's not their fault. When you take something there and they tell you the part ain't there, or this was missing, this is why they don't like dealing with customers' cars as well. And now that's bolted in. So now all that leaves us to do now is to put our cone filter on, right here, which is gonna go here, just like that. And we'll have to tighten it down. Now we need our boot, which is right here. We're gonna need to really try and get this on now. Do remember your other hose goes on. Just tighten that a bit so we can make sure that our boot is fully seated, and we'll tighten that to here and then tighten the bottom one up. Now we need to tighten up our air filter one. Now we just need to clip in our other hose down here, and that is it, guys. That is the full Direnza induction kit installed. Like I said, it looks actually really good, and it's just different. I didn't want to have the same one that I had before. You know, I wanted to be different, and I've made it different. This one looks a lot better. Like I said, the only thing we really had to do was bolts. Bolts was the biggest thing that they never come with. They never provided, so I had to fabricate them. Not an issue. We've done that, and everything's worked out the way it should. But at least we managed to get it on, you know. At least it got everything else. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have come with not everything inside the box, but it did. So we are able to complete that install at least. So that's another thing done. And like I said, I look forward to getting it on the road and hearing how it sounds. But that's how you install the Direnza induction kit for the Mini Cooper S. We've got the last upgrade coming up, as many of you guys probably know what that already is. We've got that last upgrade coming up for this Mini Cooper, and we are done. This car is going back together. Bumpers, crash bar, everything is going back on. Yes, the next video you will be seeing after the last modification. This car's going back together and we're going to have it driving. We have to. It is now complete and I am so looking forward to this. Like, it's going to be a massive transformation, especially as many of you guys saw, supercharger was weak. Everything wasn't running as it should have been. Now it is definitely going to be, and I just cannot wait. So the next video you'll be seeing is the last modification to this Mini Cooper R52. Thank you very much for watching. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.